Hi Mum! You do everything for everyone else. Let me help you make your life easier. Quick, short information to make you empowered and remind you why you are so important. Because if you don't know what's on the menu, how can you choose what's right for you? Hi, I'm Alina, Director of my private practice Supportive Therapy, an everyday Aussie mum trying not to lose my biscuits at my kids. As a mental health professional, I'm here to share my secrets so no other mother feels alone or powerless. Knowledge is power, and I want you to be powerful. Think of it like I'm your mindset coach through all of this. Everything is backed by science and psychology. I believe in you, and I want you to be the best version of yourself. To be happy and to feel in control, you need to be mentally strong. Hello, welcome everyone. My name is Alina Bishop and this is Mentally Strong Mums. So this episode we're going to be talking about navigating financial pressures during the festive season. And I think with a lot of us, if we haven't won the lotto, it can be really, really difficult to kind of stay ahead with everything. So especially with cost of living, we're trying to make your kids happy, either with going on holidays, even realizing that the little people that I love in my life to try and get them little gifts as well. So realizing that the holiday season can be one of the most expensive times of the year. And for many mums, the financial pressures can be relentless, especially if we're the ones who are doing all the finances. We know everything that's coming in, everything that's going out. And sometimes if either I'm neurodiverse myself or I've never been taught about financial literacy, sometimes it feels like next thing you know, I've accidentally overspent and I've put too much on Afterpay and all my lay-bys are due and I'm not getting paid for another. Do you know what I mean? From buying gifts, preparing festive meals, to then even attending events and traveling to visit our loved ones. All of these costs quickly add up. And for mums, managing household budgets this time of year can also bring added stress, as well as the fear of overspending. And this is a little side thing as well. Potentially those mums who I'm talking to who are in so this is going to be triggering because I'm going to be talking about coercive control. So if this is too much, I either need you to press pause and fast forward or come back, maybe just skip this episode, okay? So for those mums who potentially don't have any power within the relationship, who might be a stay-at-home mum, who are disenfranchised, who don't have access to the money, and even if your partner puts you on a budget, sometimes understanding if you don't have access to these finances or you're put on what do they call that? If you're put on a little budget each week, you don't have any kind of freedom. It can be very, very difficult because you don't have any authority or say within the relationship when it comes to finances. And then especially if you yourself don't have any income because you've got little kids or your kids have disabilities and there's no one else around, you might not be in the position either to be able to work. And so then if you're in a potential relationship where there is coercive control, whether you understand what that means or whether your partner feels like they're doing the best thing for the family, it can be really, really, really difficult because it feels like you have no autonomy in the home either, okay? So I always need to kind of mention that because it's a lot more common than what we think of, okay? So even sometimes in the past, if I have accidentally overspent, then sometimes my partner doesn't trust me anymore or he won't regain trust and then he completely removes all of my access to money. And if I need any kind of money, I have to ask permission and for how much and for what for. And if I don't then get that permission, I don't get access to any money. So that's very, very important. And if this isn't for you, sometimes we know other women and other mums who are in this position as well. Can be very sad, can be terrifying. It also feels like a lot of shame and embarrassment. How did I get into this situation? As well as feeling not good about myself because of the situation within the family and not being able to have the freedom or luxury or confidence or qualifications to be able to work, especially during those little time during the day when the kids go to school. Okay. So beyond the immediate expenses, the financial strain over the holidays can then often spill into the new year. I think they call that a financial hangover, right? Leaving families burned out with this excessive debt because of Christmas and all the expectations, right? So obviously there are so many surveys that show Australians rack up an average of over $3,000 in holiday-related credit card debt, right? And so for mums who are often the ones potentially that managing these expenses, it can also create a heavy emotional toll, all right? Also that guilt, we're eating baked beans for the next couple of weeks because I can't afford anything else, right? Hope you enjoy your toys, kids. So in this episode, we're going to explore strategies to be able to reduce this financial stress, be able to plan a holiday budget and what that looks like, as well as creating meaningful celebrations without breaking the bank. So because the best parts of the holiday season don't come with a price tag, your kids are going to convince you otherwise, but they just don't, all right? So, and especially for me as a young mum, and when I first started figuring all of this out, right, I wanted to I think I must have felt a lot of guilt with my kids because of the way that they were and they weren't diagnosed with the things and how I was burnout, and I needed to feel like I wanted to overcompensate in a lot of different ways, right? So because of that insecurity and inadequacy within myself, I then tried to overcompensate, even tried to manifest whatever that looks like, right? But ended up buying these gifts for everyone. All the food, kind of fancy stuff, it was on Afterpay, my credit cards, as well as laybys. So it wasn't until the new year and January that I realized I was like in this drunken haze and this anxiety-fueled couple of weeks where my panic just kind of made all of these uncomfortable and irrational decisions. And now I've woken up, right, and realized, what have I done? And I've got so much debt, and it's going to make me at least 6 months be able to kind of pay everything back. You know what I mean? So especially because I am neurodiverse, sometimes when you put things on Afterpay, in my mind, it doesn't exist. Do you know? And so the stress of paying off that debt cast a huge shadow over the start of the new year and taught me a really, really hard and valuable lesson that the holiday shouldn't come at the cost of my own financial security. And I've only done that once, and I've made a promise to myself that I would never do that again. But that was my fault because it was fueled by my panic, my anxiety, my insecurities, and my feelings of inadequacy to overcompensate. And because I was so anxious and overwhelmed, I then wasn't thinking clearly and doing things that I shouldn't have done, right? Obviously, since then, I've adopted a more intentional approach to holiday spending. I've got a separate savings account in my bank, and each week I put a certain amount in that savings account, and whatever's in it at the end of the year, I then divide between family members, and that's what that looks like. So at least that's our savings. And I've also got a separate savings and a separate account for holidays. So one's for gifts and Christmas, and then the other one's on holidays. And so knowing how much money we get per year, and then dividing how much all of your bills are, and then what's left, and then dividing that into different segments. So I've got a whole budgeting situation on my website, supportivetherapy.com.au. So you're free to download that, which is really, really helpful because it's just a free budgeting thing and I use it all the time, right? You're free to either print it out or copy and paste it. And every tax time, because everything goes up every year, we just kind of amend that, right? So even on Christmas Day, figuring out how I can pay things with Flybuys or even with Woolies rewards, and then kind of budgeting that as well. And that's a huge, huge help for me, right? So this shift has not only reduced financial stress, but has also made the holidays more authentic and joyful. And because I've also gone to therapy, right? I'm a psychology graduate, clinical social worker. A good therapist gets therapy. I was able to go to therapy and understand what was going on for me, and I healed and resolved my own inadequacies with that. And so that's why that doesn't happen anymore, right? So we can obviously all understand with all the research, there is a survey by Finder that revealed 41% of Aussies experience financial stress during the holiday season, all right? That was me when I didn't know how to budget. I'm still putting in my lotto, waiting for that as well to come along, so one day. With many relying on credit cards, afterpays, all of these traps to be able to cover the costs. And you know what? Sometimes if we're like scrolling on Facey, Instagram, TikTok, whatever it is, and it comes up with an ad to purchase something, sometimes if they're dodgy, scams take your money as well as you purchase something and it never arrives, right? So the average holiday related debt exceeds $3,000, and it often takes months and months to repay. Financial strain isn't just a budgeting issue. For me, it's a mental health concern. So studies show that financial stress can lead to anxiety, depression, relationship strain, okay? Especially for mums who often feel the weight of responsibility for managing all of the household expenses, especially if you are the CEO mum, right? So psychologists emphasize the importance of planning ahead, setting boundaries with spending, as well as focusing on non-material aspects of the holiday. So maybe baking. If you're not even a baker, get one of those, you just packet mixes, do it in, turns out to be gingerbread. Here you go. Do you know what I mean? Research also suggests that involving children in budgeting and decision-making can teach valuable life skills and reduce the pressure on parents, okay? Christmas comes around every single year. It's not a surprise. So how can you be forward-thinking every year, get your budget or whatever that looks like to be able to mentally prepare? And that's why we're mentally strong, right? So we need some actionable strategies, not to mention the ones that I've already had. So if you haven't had that this year and you're having a financial hangover and you're listening to this, either save this episode for when you're mentally able to, right? And then we can go through and help. Go onto my website, supportivetherapy.com.au, and download the free budget, okay? 2, you can create your own holiday budget. So write down your anticipated holiday expenses. Who are you buying for? What gifts? How many people am I buying for? Is it 5? So then I want to spend an average of $50 per person, right? What does that look like? Food, travel, decorations, and you can set a spending limit in each category, right? Even hoarding during the year and having a whole box. Because you know what I do as well sometimes? Sometimes the good thing about this podcast is my family and friends don't listen to it, right? So I can keep on being anonymous. Sometimes I've got a re-gifting box. So during the year, if my kids have a birthday or I get presents and we get too many gifts so the kids don't like it, I then get those gifts and put it in the re-gifting box so that I'm able to re-gift them during the year, all right? But if you have given me a present, I really appreciate it and thank you so much. Okay, so for all of this budgeting, allocate maybe $200 for gifts, $100 for meals, $50 for decorations, right? And then if you do that budget, how well can you stick to that budget and then give yourself some kind of reward afterwards, right? If you can have a clear budget that helps you prioritize spending and reduces the likelihood of financial surprises. No one likes a hangover, okay? 3, meaningful gifts as well as DIY, all right? Play School. When you watch Play School, everything is really cheap and easy to make with just everyday household items. Watch Play School. Go different crafting. Get your craft on, whatever that looks like, so you don't go out and buy everything so it's fancy and matching. No, blame it on the kids. Say that you actually like your kids and you like all the stuff that they bring home, right? So how can you have little handmade, personalized gifts that show thoughtfulness that don't have that high price tag, right? So you could even do photo albums, baking, heartful letters, handmade cards. Potted plants are really good too, with little succulents, even if you started doing that throughout the year, whatever that looks like, right? So there's actually so much research that shows that people value the sentiment behind gifts more than the monetary value, because people spend their time to do it for you because they thought of you, right? So number 4, how can we plan affordable family activities, right? Experience rather than expensive outings or gifts. So maybe a movie night at home or free holiday events that are on, okay? Even a staycation in your own city somewhere, going camping, all of that kind of stuff, right? Even a family picnic. So at least you're still going out if you can't afford or everything's booked out and you can't leave, even if you have to work over the season. How can I do things that we wouldn't normally do during the year to feel like we're still celebrating and having a little bit of a holiday, right? So shared experience can create lasting memories without the financial burden. And remember, your kids only want you. They're going to be leaving soon, so just make the most of them while you can, and for you just to be chill as well with them, right? So with all of this, if you have some really amazing cost-saving holiday tips that I haven't spoken about, please either contact me, put it on my social, share it with other mums, and I think it'd be amazing because we can all then come together as a collaborative approach to be mentally strong mums. And how can we exchange ideas? Even if I do some kind of package and kit, what does this look like? And bring it all together, right? So, mums, the best parts of the holiday season aren't about how much you spend. They're about the connections that you make and the memories you create with the people that you love and the people that love you, okay? By being intentional with your spending, setting a budget, as well as embracing meaningful traditions, you can enjoy the holidays without financial regret or a financial holiday, all right? Especially when you buy your kids a present and it gets broken 4 hours later. I know what that's like. So, your value as a mum is not defined by the gifts you give or the meals that you serve. You are valued by the nurturing love and care that you bring your family. So I think that's the most important thing for you to focus on. Because you know yourself, all you ever wanted from your mum was nurturing and love and acceptance. So how can we then give this to our kids? All right. Thank you for listening to me. Have a happy, relaxed holiday season. You need anything, let me know. But mums, I believe in you. Thank you. Bye. If you are hearing this message, you've listened to the entire episode, and for that, I want to thank you for your support. It takes me hours to research and create this for you, so I genuinely hope you enjoyed it and felt more mentally strong. If you have any suggestions or improvements, let me know, because I'm always open for criticisms. If you have found my information useful, please leave a review and subscribe. So by leaving a review, it's a value exchange. It's good karma. I value your support just as much as you value my free information. So find me on Instagram and Facebook by searching Mentally Strong Mums, and I'm Aussie, so we're spelled MUM. And then you can find heaps of resources on www.mentallystrongmums.com. And this podcast is for you. So let me know what topics you would like to see covered in future episodes. And if yourself is a professional that is working with mums and would like to be a guest to help other mums be mentally strong, I would love to support you. So message me on Instagram on Mentally Strong Mums, MUMS, all one word. Thank you so much for your time. Have a wonderful day, you beautiful mums.